G'day everyone, and we've had a few questions and comments regarding our tow vehicle, and yes, as mentioned before in some of our videos, we have changed our tow vehicle. Not something that we wanted to do, not at this stage anyway, and we had our Colorado all set up as we wanted with the canopy and so on, and believe it or not, when we had the canopy fitted to the Colorado, when we had the tub taken off, it actually weighed on the way down to have the canopy fitted, and it was 50 kilo lighter after the new aluminium canopy was done. So by the time we decked it out, we just had too many weight issues, and we were forced for safety and insurance reasons to upgrade our vehicle. So we'll go through the vehicle now that we got, which of course is a Toyota 200 series Landcruiser. I'm Mick and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. The Landcruiser that we've got is a 2016 model and a VX. And of course that comes with the V8 twin turbo model diesel engine, and we purchased that a bit over 8.5 months ago, and in that time now that we've owned it, we've done about 12,000 kilometres, and that included 3 months over in Tassie and up and down the hills over there, and so far we're quite happy with the performance that we're getting out of it, both engine power and fuel economy. One of the things that we did do before we bought the Landcruiser is we knew that whatever vehicle we were going to get, it was going to have to go through some sort of suspension upgrade to be able to tow what we wanted to tow with it, because we had a choice of either doing the tow vehicle or getting another Caravan that wasn't quite as heavy. But anyway, so we went to Lovells and asked whether a Toyota Landcruiser such as what we've got, the VX model, whether that would be sufficient to upgrade where we wanted to, and there was no issues at all. So of course that's the road that we've gone down. Now the reason that we went with Lovells with the GCM and GVM upgrade was obviously the gross combination. We didn't want to have an issue with that anymore, which we did with the Colorado, because last year when we come back from the Flinders Ranges with the Colorado, it was nearly empty because we were obviously coming home, not very much diesel, very little fuel there, and of course very little food inside, so we were nearly as low in weight as what we would ever be, and we put that over the weighbridge as we weren't very far from home, and we were quite amazed to find it was between 400 and 500 kilo overweight, and that didn't include me on the weighbridge, so we certainly had to do something about it. By having a vehicle upgrade, and of course as mentioned we went with Lovells, and that gave us an increase in gross vehicle mass up to 4,200 kilograms, and the gross combination mass, it elevated that up to 7,700 kilograms. Now the other thing that we wanted to increase besides our gross vehicle mass was also we had a concern with rear axle. By the time we hook our Caravan up, it's got a reasonably heavy drawbar weight on it, and as well as that we're going to put a fridge and a drawer and so on in the back of the Landcruiser, so we didn't want to be over on the rear axle. So with the combination or the Lovells upgrade that we had done, it took our rear axle from 1,950 kilograms up and increased that to 2,304 kilograms. So that increased the rear axle by 354 kilograms, which was quite a lot. Now, as well as that Lovells upgrade, we also had Airbag Man airbags put in the rear axle, and for anyone that's ever towed with them, it certainly helps at times, but makes it very, very rigid in the back. And on mediocre sort of roads, the general upgrade hasn't really worried us, but when we cart cans of Coke or cans of beer or whatever in our fridge, Ingle fridge in the back, it certainly marks the exterior of them just to illustrate that it is a harsher ride. So yes, it is a harsher ride. Is it an issue? No, it's not, unless when you're going along the road and you might go up onto a railway overpass or a bridge or something like that where there's a bit of a sharp bump, then that will certainly illustrate it with the ride on the suspension. But generally speaking, it's not too bad. Well, that's enough of me standing here talking. I'll now show you around the vehicle, and as we go around I'll tell you what we've done to it, as well as what was already on the vehicle when we purchased it. Now, as long as we haven't got too much sun glare, of course. When we got it, it had the genuine Toyota bull bar on it, and something that we've always had on our four-wheel drives is bull bars. You never know when you're going to hit anything. What I did do on our Colorado, I took the hardcore LED driving lights off and put them onto here. They're a very good light and we didn't want to lose them. And as well as that, it's got a bonnet protector on it, and just to save the stone chips on the front. The aerial mounted here, no aerial mounting point on the bull bar as such, so of course it's got one of the wraparound aluminium or stainless steel mounting plates there, and that's a GME aerial. On the side now, and it's got a safari snorkel, and as well as trying to keep as much clean air going in, that's of course good for water crossings. Standard VX wheels, and we're not going to change them. A lot of people put different ones on, but we're going to stick with that. And as far as the tyres go, they're Goodyear Wranglers on it at the moment. I've never had Goodyears before, and never had a problem with these, and they're quite good on the road. They're not noisy, so perhaps one day when they're due for a replacement, we may even go with the same ones. Time will tell when it happens. When we had the front suspension upgraded, we did it properly with levels and got the top control arm done as well. Now, with our towing mirrors, these aren't the mirrors that were on there. They were a San Hemo, I think it was pronounced, and they were as good as the clear view, but we've had them taken off. And it was only a week ago actually that we put these clear views on there, because the biggest problem that we've got is when we come in and out of the carport home, the vehicle only just fits through the carport, and by the time you fold the mirrors in to squeeze it through, we were just concerned that at one day we might come back and fold the mirrors in and not see where we're going, and then wipe out the side of the door with the framework of the carport. So we've changed these over, and these are power folds, so it's all done with a button. You can get right back through to the carport and fold them back at the last minute, and just move that couple of feet and then fold them back out into the transport position. Not a lot changed on the back. We've had our stone stomper put on there that we carried over from the Colorado, very good. The only problem with that, of course, is with the parking assist sensors. Down there, if you see it, not sure whether you can see it, you can just see it there. It does interfere with those, so you've got to turn off the parking assist, so you've got no parking assist once you've got the stone stomper on there. When you're not towing the van, you can take it off, but we've always left it on there. Now we'll have a quick look in the back and we'll show you what we've had done in there, because we have changed the back quite a bit. Got the sun behind me with a lot of shadow, so sorry about that. Now what we did have done was RV Storage Solutions, a drawer system which is supplied and fitted by TJM. They done all that work for us and we're quite pleased with that. It's got the lower section for the fridge slide, and then underneath it's got the little storage tray as well. So I'll just pull that out and show you. Now to get the bottom drawer out, it's got a lock there. We'll slide that out, pull the fridge out, and then we can get the drawer out there. Of course the Caravan's on now, which makes it a little bit harder, and then we've got the tray there, so we've got the access there for all the stuff that Sally's got stored in there, and then there's the workbench there that you can work on afterwards. So it's quite good. That we're quite pleased with that. That's something new that TJM have offered with the drawer system that they've got. And just lock it there, and that locks both the drawer and the fridge in. Right. On the right hand side here of this set, we've got the higher drawer, and that's just general storage. The pop-up fire pit there, and my tools and the air hose for the airbags and so on, and a very deep drawer, that one, so it's quite good there. And of course on this side, in behind here, is where we've got the air compressor mounted and the takeoff point there. I was going to put some USB points and so on here, but I have heard, and when you look at it, when you close that tailgate up, you can't plug very much there that's very long, so I've left that area on both sides blank and put them up on the side. I'll show you in a sec. Now on the fridge, it comes with this barrier around it which protects the fridge, which is quite good, and also gives us that storage shelf up there. A little bit hard to see up the side of the fridge here, but that also gives us a storage area that we can just lay the longer things like a camera tripod and a few rags and anything else that we want to store up there. But as I say, a bit hard to see in the darkness of the light. Now with the side panel that you access your tyre changing jack and so on there, I've actually put a set of USB outlets, USB 2 and 3 there, USB-C there, and your normal cigarette lighter plug there, and there where we charge all our rechargeable cameras and so on there now. Not as good as what we had in the Colorado, but it seems to be working out well. And of course that switch there, that'll turn the outlets on and off, so we can not drawing any current with the illuminated light and the green and the voltmeter and so on there, and just to save a bit of battery voltage when the vehicle's not being used. Now as well as that, I've got another switch here, and that turns off our booster, which is for our Safety Dave tyre pressure monitor system, and as well as being an on-off switch there, it also runs through a relay which is excited when the engine's running. So when we pull up and turn the vehicle off for the night, or when we stop travelling for a number of days, that relay will drop out, and it's just as though we turn that switch off, and then that isolates the booster at the same time, and we don't have to come around and turn this one on and off. And the booster itself, that's mounted up there just under the seat belt. Of course the seat belt's not being used now with the drawer system we've got, and that sits there and works quite nicely. Now just a quick look in the front to show you what we see when we're driving, which is pretty much standard too. Electric brake controller for the Caravan. There's a red arc here, and they're as good as any. We're quite pleased. That one was in the vehicle when we purchased it, so quite happy with that. The other thing that we're very happy with too, that we haven't really had before, is rubber front mats, and we've got rubber mats in the back as well, but they've got this lip here on both sides, or actually right round it, and it catches the dust and the dirt that you've got on your shoes, and it's just a matter of unclipping it on the two clips and taking the whole lot out, tip it off, wipe it off, and it looks like new. What we have got on the dash is our Safety Dave reversing camera here. That's a 2-channel one, so I'm actually using both channels, with channel 1 being on the Caravan, and that's turned on all the time when we're travelling down the road. And on top of that, I use channel 2 for when we're coupling up on the drawbar at the back of the vehicle, and I'll show you that one now. What I did do, I don't know whether it detracts from the vehicle's appearance or not, but it certainly acts as a very useful tool. As I fitted another reversing camera there, and that will shine directly down onto the tow ball, and you can see when you're ready to hook up, because unfortunately Toyota's put their camera to one side, and I won't be able to show you there if you can see it at all, but it's there to one side, it's not centre, so when you're reversing back, you're actually off centre to the drawbar coupling, and you can't really tell when you're there. Perhaps with a bit of experience you might be able to, but it was much easier. I had the second channel available on the screen on the dash, so I thought, why not use it? And the other thing on the dash is, of course, the old TomTom. We've had one of them for many, many years now, probably 20 years, I don't know, could even be longer, so you get used to using them, find them quite easy. Of course, with the VX, it has got the GPS unit and so on built into the head unit, but it's a new one to learn, so much easier to stick with the TomTom. Now, so there wasn't so much in the way of monitors on the dash, because of course we've got a GoPro hanging there, but we've got the Safety Dave tyre monitor fitted over there, and I really love these. They're not perhaps not as good as some in the sense that the way the monitors work, but for display on the screen, I can quite easily see that from in the driving position and easily read what my tyre pressures are, and also tyre temperatures. So very nicely set out screen. A lot of the others have got a very small screen, but as I say, their sensors work a bit easier and a bit better than what the Safety Dave ones do, but overall it's just what you want to get used to. GME UHF radio fitted there with the handpiece and the mic. And of course that's one of the models that's got everything on the handpiece, and I myself prefer a full-size DIN UHF radio, and unfortunately in this vehicle nowhere really to mount one. So that one was in the vehicle that when we purchased it, and we're quite pleased that it was a GME, and it seems to work quite well. Now, from what I gather, it's pretty stock standard under the bonnet, and when we purchased the vehicle, it had the 2 standard battery systems as Toyotas do, and we had the one on the driver's side, which we're looking at now. We had that one isolated from the cranking battery, so we only finished up with the one cranking battery on the left hand side, and it's still that standard cranking battery, and we've had no issues with it. So at the moment we'll just let that one go until it does fail. The auto electrician did tell me when we had it done that this one over here, being a cranking type battery, not a deep cycle battery, wouldn't last very long, but so far it's lasting, and at the end of the day, the longer this one lasts before it does fail, the longer the next one's going to last too. And to keep that one charged, we've got a Red Arc DC charger fitted there, and that keeps that one topped up very nicely. And as well as that, we've got a solar panel up top, but I'll show you that very shortly. Now, the other thing that we have had done, or that I've actually done, I've put a throttle controller on this one. I had a throttle controller on the Colorado, and they do really work well. They take that lag out. We had no issues with power as far as towing goes. It's just more so when you take off from a standing still position, and more so worse when it was cold. But that makes it react very well now, and it's Bluetooth, this one, so you don't have it on the dash like you do with a lot of the others. It's tucked up underneath the dash. It still fits the same way on the pedal switch, but other than that, it's all up out of sight, and it's got its own remote control, and as well as that, you can control it from your Bluetooth on your phone. That's the little remote control for the throttle controller, so you can control that one without touching your phone should you have a need to change anything whilst you're driving down the road. But of course, with the phone, it's got more adjustments than what this remote control does. This one only changes from one program to the next, but it doesn't allow you to change the actual settings of each program. Now up top we've got a Rhino rack with the wishbone mounting, and on there we've got a basket which I've made up that goes on the back there, and that allows us to cart wood and stops it from rolling off the side. It's only a small basket that I made up, but it does allow us to fit 3 bags of wood up there if we have the need, and anything else that we might want to put up there if we're not cutting wood. Also up on the roof, we've got a shovel holder there with a shovel. You always need that if you're going to have any sort of campfire, or if you're going to go out on the beach and you might get bogged. You never know when you've got to dig yourself out. A 300 watt solar panel, and that complements the DC charger that's mounted under the bonnet press. Additional battery that's been split up in the engine bay, and of course a set of max tracks. Now the only problem with it, the vehicle's very high, so to get it under the carport when we get home, when we're not using the vehicle, we need to take the max tracks off, as well as the frame basket type thing that we made up for the back, and lower that down, and that allows us to go under the carport. The only thing is these, they're a K-on, I think, fold down brackets, so of course they fold down, and that reduces the height there as well. We have put a side awning on this one, and we had a side awning on the Colorado as well. And we went with June for this one, and the main reason that is because we've got a June side awning tent, and I've just inserted a photo here to show you how we use that one with the Colorado. And by having the June, we know straight away that the June side awning tent will fit on there, and we continue to use the tent as we've done in the past. Quite common now on vehicles is the small wind awning on the, or shield I should say, not awning, on the top of the windows on the side, and they're very good. They allow us to drop the window down when we're in places like this and let a bit of air flow through the vehicle without anyone necessarily seeing that a window's down. With the tyre sensors for the tyre monitor on the wheels, we're actually running them on the car now without the protective cover that actually screws over that, because the protective cover is so much bigger and it actually causes it to rub on the mag and mark the mag. We've already marked the mag before we realised that was going to happen, but at least by taking that cover off and just having the sensor there, we're hoping that it'll only no longer put any further marks on the wheel rim. Well, that's a quick overview of what we've got with our Toyota Landcruiser, and we hope that that satisfies some of the curiosity and answers some of the questions that were being asked recently in regard to tow vehicles. And of course we've had all those weight upgrades, but that doesn't mean that we can go and load anything into it and tow whatever we wanted to without being conscious of where we weight stands. So that brings us to the end of this video, and if you want to have a look at the Colorado, I'll leave some links in the video description down below, and you can have a look at what we had there, and as well as that there'll be a link to the canopy when we did the build out in that, and show you what we had there. And we look forward to catching you on our next video.